Hi everyone, this is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am here live to take your immigration questions. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments, and then I will go ahead and answer them. I am here for you. I'm here to answer your questions. So if you are going through the immigration process, you're thinking about going through the immigration process, then I am here to help you and answer your questions. So you can go to the link in my bio or visit the website to learn more about me. I represent clients all over the United States and globally, so it doesn't matter where you are. I can represent you before the USCIS and before U.S. embassies all around the globe. So I want you to know that this is all about you. And so put those questions in. Even while I'm talking, you can put the questions in. Now, I usually come with a topic as well. And the topic that I'm going to be talking about today is renewing your green card. So renewing your green card, your 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, especially when you face the challenge of not being able to jointly file with your spouse. However, I am going to talk about this topic until your questions come in, and then I will start to prioritize your questions. So don't hesitate to put your questions in even while I'm talking. So let's talk about that 2-year green card, the conditional green card, and what does that mean? So in the context of the marriage-based green card, if you're married for less than 2 years to your U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse, on the date that you are approved and you're granted the green card, what will happen is you'll get a 2-year green card. And that's basically to avoid marriage fraud. Once you get that 2-year green card, then you're going to have to submit a renewal at least 90 days or within 90 days of the card expiring. You'll need to renew. And it's not optional. In order to continue on or continue to be a permanent resident, you must submit that renewal within the 90-day period. Now, another funky requirement, which can be, a big hassle for some individuals, is that you have to jointly file with your spouse and prove that your marriage continues to be bona fide and has continued to be that in the past 2 years. However, life happens, and in a case like that, sometimes what happens is divorce happens, a breakup happens, the spouse turns out not to be who you thought they were, they turn out to be abusive or they mistreat you. In cases like that, you can apply for the green card on your own, and in cases where you get a divorce. So accessories by Jan's boss. Hi there. And Crystal, thanks for sharing the live. So you have a question. Can a sibling start a file for a parent and her younger siblings? So yes, you can apply for the parents and the siblings at the same time. In order to do this, the sponsoring relative has to be a U.S. citizen. So that is the only requirement. Keep in mind that younger siblings will need to, it's not a quick solution. So it's not going to be a quick filing. It's one of the filings that takes the longest, a minimum of 14 years, and it depends on where you are. User 437, hi, I got I think a visitor's visa for USA, but I want to apply for the worker visa. So if you do, what you'll need to do is qualify for, so you'd either have to qualify for a work permit, and to qualify for a work permit, you'll have to be immigrated into the United States or seeking immigration relief, and you'd have to submit that application. And it would have to be a type of application that would qualify an applicant for the work permit. Or you'll have to find an employer who's willing to apply for a type of employment-based visa for you. There's so many employment visas. It depends on your qualifications, the needs of the country, and the needs of your employer. I am Mel, 35. Thanks for sharing. So keep those questions coming. Oh, so I see here. Okay, so it's the Jamaican Italian kitchen. I see. So that's too bad, as that looks like such an interesting mix, and I'm pretty sure it would be really tasty. But here we have cleaning services, so I will take note of that. So user 437, okay, thanks. You're welcome. So I think this is Dean Virgil 1. How, as a Bermudian, can I apply for an application to live in Jamaica? So I'm not a Jamaican immigration attorney. You'd have to seek out an attorney that does Jamaican immigration to be able to, for them to advise you on that. So I'm a U.S. immigration attorney, and I help clients to get their green card, their status in the United States. So that is the main goal here. You're welcome, Dean. So keep those questions coming. That's why I'm here. I'm here today to answer your questions. You're my priority. I am talking about a specific topic, but your questions don't have to be specifically related to the question. It could be anything that's immigration related. So at this time, I'm talking about the conditional green card. And what does that mean? It's a 2-year green card that's given to spouses of U.S. citizens or green card holders who have been married for less than 2 years at the time that they're granted the green card. Now, it is a definite must, essential to apply for this type of green card within 90 days of the expiration date on that green card. If not, you'll automatically lose status and then be placed in removal proceedings. So, I see a bunch of questions here. So, Rashid, I have a question. Is it possible to get a green card via your younger brother? Yes. Your younger brother has to be a U.S. citizen, and keep in mind that it does take a while, at minimum 14 years right now, unless, of course, they change the law. But it takes at minimum 14 years, and it really depends on where you are. If you're in the Caribbean, it's about 14 years. If you're in Mexico, it's about 22 years. So keep that in mind. Tamura, my husband renewed his work visa back in October, and they still haven't sent him his new one. So it all depends on the status and whether it has been approved. But unfortunate in this case, that is definitely an inconvenience. If you need help, or if you are seeking legal advice, schedule a consultation. Mahimats, hi there. How long does a sibling from America sponsoring a sibling in Guyana case take? It's about 14 years right now, Mahimats. Rashid, who is a permanent resident, and he is about to get his citizenship. So Rashid, I forgot what your previous question is. Okay, so once he gets his citizenship, then he can apply for you. Priya, hi, my husband lives in New York 4 years now, and he applied for his green card, but he didn't receive it yet. So the reason for the delay, or the reason why he hasn't received it yet, really depends on how long ago did he apply, what are the issues in his case, what are the facts. So Crystal Douglas, is the lawyer supposed to charge extra cash to put in an affidavit? So lawyers can reserve the right to charge however they want, and it really just depends on what you agreed to pay in regards to the services. So you would have to speak to the lawyer, or look at, if you signed a retainer agreement, you can look at what was included in the services. of the retainer agreement. Tamura, they said they have received his application. So in this case, if they have received the application, right now there's a terrible backlog, and that may be the issue. But I wouldn't be able to give you any information without knowing what type of work visa it is, what are the facts involved, and so forth. Can a sibling stay in the USA while file? So trash cleaning services, you ask the best questions, and that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So a sibling cannot, I would not recommend it. And this is the reason why. It takes so long, right? It takes 14 years. So if this sibling is at a point where they're like, let me overstay my visa, and then you can just apply, my sibling can just apply for me, and problem solved. No, problem not solved. Because you would have to wait at minimum 14 years while being undocumented without papers for this process to be completed. Now, if at the point it does, you get to the end of the 14-year wait, guess what? You wouldn't qualify to apply for the green card while being in the United States because you didn't maintain legal status. And only individuals who are maintaining legal status or they fit into some other type of exception can apply for adjustment of status. It's very unlikely that the sibling of a U.S. citizen would fall within any of the exceptions. And so they would need to apply for a waiver at that point. And the waiver is basically asking for forgiveness to apply for the green card, for forgiveness to leave the country. Because once you overstay by over 6 months, you're going to be barred from returning to the country, barred from getting a green card once you leave. So you don't want that. You have to apply for the waiver in order to leave to attend the final interview at the embassy. So it's not recommended. However, if you are in that situation, because there are some individuals who have already overstayed, they're already stuck. And if you are in that situation, you would need to apply for a waiver. And that is something I help my clients with. So give me a call. So Crystal Douglas, my lawyer's charging me $400 each for me and my kids after I already paid him the lawyer fee. So you would definitely, you need to refer to the agreement you formed with your lawyer. Talk to your lawyer. It is the right of the attorney to charge the rate for doing the work. And doing an affidavit, it definitely takes work, and some attorneys do include that work in the total fee and some don't. So you'll need to make sure that you go and look at your retainer agreement or touch base with your attorney, and your attorney can straighten that out with you. Trini Shabin, or is that Trinisha Bin? I'm divorced. I want to get U.S. residence for my son and me. What do I do? So if you're divorced from a U.S. citizen or a green card holder and you've been divorced for less than 2 years, that U.S. Citizen or green card holder mistreated you. And when I say mistreatment, it doesn't have to just be physical abuse. It could be verbal, mental, financial. There is a way to apply for the green card on your own. So that is one way. And there may be other ways as well. It just depends on what your circumstances are. Give me a call, schedule a consultation. It's definitely worth figuring that out. Dean Virgil, how can I apply for U.S. citizenship, green card as a Bermudian and a part of the British? So you have to qualify for permanent residence or, first permanent residence like everybody else. So there are no special benefits for being a Bermudian or being a part of the British Commonwealth. So Initias, hi there. It's nice to see you again. How long does a case take to move from the USCIS to the NVC? No case number is available at this time. So usually within 4 to 6 weeks. With the COVID situation, it may take a little longer, but the standard time is 4 to 6 weeks. Sherry3366, thanks for sharing the live. Shans Sams, how to extend my visitor's visa. So there's a specific form that you need to file to extend if you're currently in the United States and you want to stay beyond the permitted time that you're given to stay in the US. So keep those questions coming. These are all great questions. If you've already submitted your question and I haven't answered it yet, there is a little delay where the questions take a while to come before me. So just hang tight. So how to change from a J1 to an H1B. So there are ways to change your status. However, it all depends on what your circumstances are, who your employer is, and in the case of an H-1B, you'll need to have definitely have an employer, and there's a specific procedure that you have to, so there's a H-1B lottery that you'd have to be selected to be able to go forward with that process. Petition was filed in November 2019. No geo number is available. Any advice how to inquire? So when you say no geo number, I'm thinking you're saying this is no immigration number, so immigrant visa number. So you can call. So if the petition was filed, you can always call the USCIS. At this point, they're not going to have much to say than it is being processed and it's still in queue for a decision. But you can always call the main line, go to uscis.gov, call the main line, and then check your status. And you can also do it online using your receipt number. Mahimat, my father's case was already filed and about to get permanency in 2002 when his mom had died. However, his brother took up the case in 2015. I see. So Trini Shabin, is St. Croix residency the process as the U.S.? So if it's the U.S. Virgin Islands, so St. Croix, I'm not sure. So if that's a part of the U.S. Virgin Islands. But if it is, then there is a way to, you would still, now if you're a foreign resident living in St. Croix, then you'd still have to apply for the green card process. And there are no extra benefits to being a St. Croix resident. So I am male 35. My dad is a U.S. citizen. He's filing for me, daughter, and bro for years. So yes, if you are over 21, you're unmarried, you're married, then it can be a long, lengthy process. I am male 35. He now has a new lawyer and was informed we would become citizens instead of a green card holder. So I am male. So if you are, so if you're over 21 at the time that your dad, that you get your green card, then no, you would not become a U.S. citizen automatically. So it's usually derived if your father becomes a U.S. citizen while you're under 18. And you still have to meet certain requirements to be able to get derived citizenship. But keep in mind here that your dad, if he has a lawyer, then I would defer to the lawyer because the lawyer is the one who is providing your dad the advice. And I don't know your facts. I don't know what the circumstances are surrounding the application. And so you'll need to check with the lawyer. Mahimat, will my father get leniency? So let's see. So many questions. Okay, so that is the question. So, that is now an unusual situation because if years later your, I think that's your uncle that is now taking up the case, it may be a long time. However, if the attorney if there's an attorney involved, has advised you and has prepared a good application, maybe. Priya, can my husband file for me and his son without a green card? So no, he could not file for your green card if he doesn't have a green card. So if somehow your husband has another type of visa, then you and and his son could qualify to get that visa status as well as a spouse and the child of the specific visa holder, but it depends on the type of visa that you're applying for. So keep those questions coming because I am here to answer your immigration questions. So keep your questions coming. These have all been great questions. I am talking about the conditional green card and how to renew it from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, especially in cases where you don't have the spouse to jointly file with you. So in the case that you don't have the spouse to jointly file with you, there are 3 ways to apply. There's through divorce. So as long as you show that you had a good faith marriage and that you have the divorce decree in hand, you can apply for this waiver and still get through based on extreme cruelty or mistreatment. And you still have to show that the marriage was entered in good faith. And then the last is your extreme hardship, where you don't have to show the bona fides of your marriage, but you still do have to show extreme hardship, which is more than just mere inconvenience or more than the usual hardship if you're sent back home. So those are 3 ways that you can apply to renew the green card from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, even if you don't have your spouse. So Priya, can you please tell me the kind of visa for that situation? So it depends, Priya. There are many. Usually when you have, certain types of work visas, I would not be able to tell you the type unless, you without knowing what you qualify for, what your spouse qualifies for. So keep those questions coming because I'm here to answer your immigration questions. And so over the next couple of minutes, I want to focus on helping you out. I know if you're going through the process or you're thinking about the process, you definitely have that one question that is nagging the heck out of you. And I'm here to answer your questions. So now you apply for the conditional residence using a specific form. And I can't stress the importance of this. There are 2 types of forms to renew the green card. If you have a regular 10-year green card, and that 10-year green card is about to expire, you'll use the I-90 form. However, once you're dealing with this, renewing the conditional green card from a 2-year conditional green card to a 10-year, you're always going to use the I-751 form. And I'm saying this because I have seen cases where spouses go forward and apply with the I-90, and after a year and a half, they find out it's the wrong form and get denied. And then at the same time, the conditional green card expires, and so now they're at a disadvantage in the application process. Because there is really no appeal when it comes on to missing the deadline to apply for the conditional green card. You must apply within 90 days before it expires or face automatic termination of the permanent residence and possible referral to immigration court for removal. So Tiana, can a sibling file for you if they're a green card holder? No. So great question. They cannot. The sibling has to become a U.S. citizen to be able to apply. So keep your questions coming because here's your chance to get your answers from a U.S. immigration attorney. My link is in the bio. So if you really don't want to ask any questions here and you want to jump straight to scheduling a consultation regarding your particular immigration case, you can go ahead, go to the link in my bio. It will take you to the website where you will see the phone number. You'll see the contact form where you can enter your name, your phone number, and a brief description about the issue. And we at the firm will get right back to you. So Mona Shea, I lost my visa when I went to get one for my son. I spent 5 months. My last visit. How long can I reapply? So I am sorry about that. It depends. It depends on why you lost it. Did you lose it because of a past immigration violation? And my advice is going to hinge on that. And so for that, you'd have to schedule a consultation so we can go through your specific facts and I could advise as to whether you can apply for a new visa or whether, there's going to be a certain amount of time before you can. So keep those questions coming because that's why I'm here, is to answer your immigration questions. So I am talking about the topic of renewing your 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, even when you don't have your spouse to apply with. So I talked about 3 ways to do this. Mona Shea, you're welcome. And those 3 ways are apply for a waiver, basically a waiver of the requirement to file jointly. So the waiver is based on divorce, based on extreme cruelty or abuse or mistreatment, based on extreme hardship if you were to lose your status and have to return home. So those are the 3 ways that you could apply without your spouse. So Shelly, my husband is a U.S. green card holder, and after our wedding, we came back to the U.S. Can he start filing? So Shelly, if you currently have status in the United States and you're going to continue to maintain that legal status during the green card process, then your spouse can apply for you and you could qualify for adjustment of status, meaning apply for the green card while you're in the U.S. However, if you have a green card, visitor's visa, you're going to fall out of status, and because of that, you'll have to apply for a waiver at the same time or wait for your green card holder spouse to turn into a U.S. citizen. If you apply for a waiver, that will enable, and it's approved, that will enable you to go back to your home country to complete the green card process once the interview is scheduled. So it gets a little more complicated with a green card holder spouse. It's still possible, but the waiver is going to require that your U.S. green card holder spouse will experience extreme hardships if you're not granted the green card. And extreme hardships is going to be more than, well, he can't live without his spouse. It's going to be based on extreme hardships like financial, health, if there's something in regards to your green card holder spouse's health, if your green card holder spouse is going to be left to take care of the children. These are some of the things that may count as extreme hardship. But it's very important to get legal advice at this point because it can help you to make a better decision about how to move forward in the green card process. So I can't stress enough, give me a call, schedule a consultation. Do I have to go back home? I still have status in the U.S. So Shelly, it depends on what type of status, because you can apply for the green card, your green card holder spouse can. And if you are going to fall out of status at some point in the process, you won't qualify to apply. But if you're going to maintain status for years ahead, say for 3 years, and the green card process takes about 2 years, then you could still possibly qualify while being in the U.S. I can't stress enough, get legal advice before you make the decision to stay. And another misconception I want to clear up is when you have a visitor's visa, you'll say, I have a 10-year visa. But every time you come into the country, the officer is going to give you as a limited time to stay. It could range from 4 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months. If you overstay that time, you're in violation of your 10-year visa and you could lose it. Because once you overstay your visitor's visa, even though you don't have to renew it for the next 10 years, it stops being valid at the point that you overstay. And so you're having a 10-year green card after you overstay the permitted time is not valid status, and it doesn't count to apply for the green card while you're in the U.S. So Tiana, how can I apply for a green card without someone helping to file it? There are certain ways, employment based. If you have another humanitarian means, so if you're on a T visa or a U visa, those could be possible ways. Tamika, thanks for sharing. So Rashida, if some has an SSN, can they apply for a green card? So no, having an SSN alone is not going to be able to qualify you for applying for a green card. You have to qualify through an employer, through a family member, through humanitarian means. Like when I say humanitarian, you're an asylum. You have received asylum. You have a T visa as a victim of trafficking, or you have U visa. Hi, Chocolate 3185. It's nice to see you. Shelly, you're welcome. Fabulous Charlene, please explain adjustment of status when a daughter is doing the filing. So if your daughter is over 21 and a U.S. citizen, then she would be able to file for you while being in the U.S. as long as you entered with a valid visa, even if you overstayed it. So trash cleaning services, how to get an SSN without filing the I-130. So if you have come on a work visa or some other type of temporary status that provides an SSN, that is one way. Other than that, if you're undocumented in the United States, there's no way to apply for an SSN. However, there is a way to apply for what's called an ITIN number through a tax assistance agent. And that is specifically for individuals who don't qualify for an SSN, but who work, they would like to file taxes. Then that number is similar to the SSN, but keep in mind that the only purpose of the ITIN number is to file taxes. It's not to get a job or to be used for identification purposes other than to file taxes. So Rashida Adams, if someone has an SSN, can they apply for a green card working in the USA for over 8 years? No. So working in the US for 8 years and having an SSN alone will not qualify you at this time for a green card. The law could change in the future. There are laws out there that, if you are here and you're working, paying taxes, and you're undocumented, there are proposed laws to allow those individuals to apply for permanent residence, but those are not laws yet. Has not been passed. I am cautiously optimistic. I think that in the future we will see positive immigration reform, but it's going to take time and the right conditions to do it. Tamika Lowe, I have questions that I can't ask on air. How much is the consultation? And Tamika, that's what I'm here to do, is to help you even in the most personal situations. My consultation is $150. I represent clients all over the country and I do video and phone consults. Now, keep in mind that it is well worth it because you will walk out knowing your rights, your options, and the option to be represented should you need it. And you can make that choice. Rashida Adams, you're welcome. So single 020, how do I find out when U.S. Embassy in Accra, Ghana will be accepting tourist visa applications? You can go to contact them directly and see when they will be opening up those visa applications again. Can you explain the B2 visa extension? So there's a specific form that you will have to apply to be able to get it. When you're here in the United States and you need more time than you were permitted to stay, then that would be the time to apply for this. It's not for your visa renewal. To renew your visa, you'll have to go to the embassy. But to be able to apply for the extension to allow you to stay, then you can use that form. Most times I don't talk about forms because I don't know what your facts are, and sometimes specific forms are in regards to what your particular situation is. But there is a form application process. Now, once, say you can apply now, and say a week from now your time is going to expire, you don't have to leave until you get a decision. And that decision could be yes, you can stay, and that's great. Or it could be no, and you'll have to leave within the allotted time. So trash cleaning services, how can I apply for the ITIN number so I can pay taxes while waiting for the pending? So you'll have to do that through a tax assistant agent. And you can do that by going to the IRS and searching for agents who do this. So, you're going to have different agents, with my experience, the different agents, sometimes they themselves are not necessarily receptive to helping an undocumented immigrant, but it is there for you. So you just need to find the right agent who will be able to submit the required documentation. Check with the tax assistant agent to see what the specific documentary evidence will be. In some cases, it's the passport with the visa in that passport to show when you entered the United States. So Rashida Adams, employers willing to help, but my friend is unsure of the process. So that's where your friend will need to schedule a consultation so I can go through what her circumstances are and then advise accordingly. So Shawana, 90. When will they start issuing back visitor visas? So in some cases, it just depends on the embassy, the country, what's going on there. The COVID situation is severe in some countries. And because of that, the process may be different. They may be closed down completely. So it all depends on where you are. What I am telling individuals to do is refer to the website, and they can provide updates on what their current processes are, when their operation or their process is expected to reopen. Fabulous Charlene, you're welcome. Shelly, can a spouse work with an SSN after getting married to a green card holder? Not necessarily. So just being married to a green card holder will not provide authorization to work in the U.S., so you'd have to be very careful about that. Shelly. Felicity, I am Jamaican, so thanks for recognizing the accent. Tamika Lowe, you're welcome. Can you explain the B2 visa extension? So I answered that already, TJ 20-11. So you'll have to apply using a specific form. If you're here in the U.S., you want more time to be in the U.S., it can be denied, but you can stay until you get that denial. Bernicia, thanks for the share. Showanana. Thank you. You're welcome. So Jay Shofelea, thanks for following. Christina Hanniford, my child overstayed. She's 32. Can I file for her while she's here? Yes. So if she overstayed, yes. However, keep in mind that if you're a green card holder, she has to be unmarried. If you are a U.S. citizen, you can file for her and husband and children. But keep in mind, it's not a quick solution. This process takes years, and you'll need a waiver to get forgiveness for the overstay because your daughter is not going to be able to stay in the United States. Once she gets an approved waiver, then she can go to the country, in her home country, to complete the green card process at the interview. So Christina, thanks for the share. So Iola, how long does it take to get your work permit? About 6 to 8 months, assuming that you qualify. Daniela, if I already got a green card for my previous spouse, but it didn't work out. So that if that's the case, if you have a 10-year green card, then you're okay. You can still go on to having your green card for 5 years and then apply for U.S. citizenship on your own merit. However, if you have a 2-year green card and you are now looking at applying for a 10-year, there are 3 ways to do this: through divorce, renewing it through divorce and showing it was a real marriage, through showing extreme cruelty, or you can do it by showing your extreme hardships if you don't receive the green card. You can even apply for all 3 at the same time. So Bernicia, thank you so much. So Shelly, you're welcome. Sasvini, let's see. Hello, how are you? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Question: my waivers due this June. Do you think I'll get a response? So, unfortunately, the waiver process can take even more than a year. So that's not guaranteed. I hope so, though. So it's Sadie, though. If your sister has a green card, can she apply for you? Green card holders can't apply for siblings. So Mimi Loca, how long does it take to get my green card after my daughter petitioned for me? It depends on, so if your daughter, who is a U.S. citizen, is 21 and over, applied for you, I'd say prepare for an 18-month process to as long as a 2-year process. Could be less, could be more, but that is the average. Iola, you're welcome. Christina, you're welcome. So Jay Shofela, do you know why it is taking so long for an I-601A provisional waiver to be approved? Just a backlog, COVID, and internal processes, unfortunately. Daniela, could I get a green card for my current boyfriend after I divorce my ex? No, it would have to be a spouse, and a green card holder spouse, or a U.S. citizen. Sasvini, you're welcome. So Jay Shofela, you're welcome. So thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. If you have a question, hang on to it, and I will definitely answer your questions on the next live, which will be tomorrow, because I come on to my lives every day with very few exceptions. So follow me, and then as soon as you see me go live, go ahead and put your questions in the comments and I will answer. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.